This is a list of what we're about to do today. In total, will take about 30 minutes. Let's put on all the gears, especially your protective gears, and get started with a warm-up. Next, let's do a side bone muscle warm-up. Bend your board on one side and lean your torso towards the opposite side. Try to keep balance and put strength on the side core muscle. Keep in your comfort zone and try to bend a little bit more each time. Keep going and feel the bend of the board. Try to gradually put your weight more and more to the bending point. Gradually, let your body to convince your brain to confidently stand one foot on the board's bending point. Press down the foot on the floor and lift up the foot in the air. Feel the board's flex level and get familiar with it. Next, let's do a 90-degree counter rotation. Do a small jump and twist your board to one side of your body while your arms rotate to the opposite side of the 90 degrees. Jump both to the left and right side. Use your core to control the position. Do not over-rotate and keep your muscle and body in your comfort zone. It's okay if you cannot rotate 90 degrees. After enough practice, reaching 90 degrees will be easier and easier. Last, let's do Ollie and Nollie hold. Lean forward to nose and tail side of your board. Imagine there's a chair in front of you and try to reach out to the chair and touch the surface of the chair. Try to avoid sudden movement and gradually reach out to the imaginary chair surface. Strengthen your side muscle to control the balance. Relax the leg in the air and try just to use your core muscle to control the balance. Let your body and brain get used to the flex of your board. Once gets confident with a certain angle, try reach out a little bit further and lower. Now you're warmed up. Let's move on to the workout. We will first do a normal side front and back 180s. Keep in mind the key techniques for 180s. It's okay if you cannot do 180. Just continue doing 90, 140, and so on. Gradually, you will eventually reach the full 180. In this round, let's focus on the arm rotation. Swing your back arm by 270 degrees to the rotation direction. Focus on the technique and try to let the motion become a habit. You will alternate the swing arm during front 180 versus back 180. Let's keep practicing the 270-degree arm swing. Try to relax the arm and your body. Try to do it naturally, like freestyle. When swinging 270, you may try to swing a little bit more or less than 270 degrees and feel the body movement differences. Try to feel which muscle is the mostly used ones and strengthen only those muscles and keep unused muscles relaxed. This will make your posture look like more freestyle. Now in this round, try to focus on strengthening your side core muscle. Try to let your side core muscle to pull the leg in the air. Relax the leg in the air and let the foot tilt the boot naturally. Also imagine a ball at about 90 degrees on the floor at your rotation direction and try to kick the ball when you're swinging. Keep in mind that you need to know your riding direction. Always start and end the rotation with your eyes and head toward the riding direction. Try not to look at the ground nor your board. This is one of the most important aspects of this workout session. So, please pay extra attention to this point. Keep your eyes and head toward the riding direction. Last round, let's try to put a little bit more weight to the board's bending point. Bend it a little bit more and harder by putting a little bit more weight onto the bending point. When finished the 180 rotation, the board will deflex and give you a little bit pop, which is very similar as you're doing Ollie and Nollie. Feel the pop and your board flex, and then you could be more confident to put more weight to the board when it is bended. Next, let's do switch side back and front 180s. If you want to keep practicing the previous routine, by all means feel free to do that, and just use this session as a timer. For this practice, you need to move your board to the downhill side of the carpet. Riding switch side may feel a little bit different. Do not be intimidated by it, since you already know how to do the trick. With just a little bit more practice, you should be able to nail it quite easily. It's okay if you cannot do 180, just continue doing 90, 140, and so on. Gradually, you will eventually reach the full 180. You will alternate to use different arm for the two rotations and try to let the motion becomes a habit. Let's keep practicing the 270-degree arm swing. Try to relax the arm and body while you're doing the practice. Try to do it naturally, like freestyle. Try to feel which muscle is the most used ones and strengthen only those muscles. And keep the unused muscles relaxed. This will make your posture more like freestyle. Now in this round, try to focus on strengthening your side core muscle. Try to let your side core muscle to pull the leg in the air. Relax the leg in the air and let the foot tilt the boot naturally. Keep in mind that you need to know your riding direction. Always start and end the rotation with your eyes and head toward the riding direction. Though you're almost rotating in the same way as the last routine, switch side will feel a little bit different in the head and eyes rotation. Last round, let's try to put a little bit more weight to the board's bending point. Bend it a little bit more and harder by putting a little bit more weight onto the bending point. When we finish the 180 rotation, the board will deflex and give you a little bit pop, which is very similar as you're doing Ollie and Nollie. Feel the pop and your board flex without looking at it, and then you could be more confident to put more weight to the board when it is bended. Let's now do switch side front and back 180s. If you haven't practiced switch side 180s yet, this session may not be a good exercise to start with. Feel free to go back to the previous video and practice switch side front and back 180s separately and repeatedly. You will Alternate to use different arm for the two rotations. Imagine as if you are riding on a mountain. Try to look at downhill as much as possible. Keep in mind that you need to know your riding direction. Always start and end the rotation with your eyes and head towards the riding direction. Depending on your riding stance type, same direction or duck, switch side could feel quite different from the normal side, simply because the length of the board and nose and tail is different. That is normal, and you do need to muscle memorize the board flex for both. Now, in this round, try to focus on strengthening your side core muscle. Try to let your side core muscle to pull the leg in the air. Relax the leg in the air and let the foot tilt the boot naturally. Try to feel which muscle is the mostly used ones and strengthen only those muscles and keep the unused muscles relaxed. Last round, let's try to put a little bit more weight to the board's bending point. Bend it a little bit more and harder by putting a little bit more weight onto the bending point. When finishing the 180 rotation, the board will deflex and give you a little bit pop, which is similar as you are doing Ollie and Nollie. Feel the pop and your board flex without looking at it, and then you could be more confident to put more weight to the board when it is bended. Last session. Let's do normal side back and front 180s. For this practice, you need to move your board to the downhill side of the carpet. You will alternate to use a different arm for the two rotations, and try to let the motion become a habit. Just in case you may get confused about the terminology of front and back side, just think about it this way. If the first 90 degree of your rotation is facing downhill, then it is a front side rotation. If the first 90 degrees of your rotation is facing uphill, then it is a backside rotation. With the same body movement, depending on your normal versus switch side position, the rotation could be either a front or backside trick. End of the day, a rotation is a rotation. How to call it does not really matter. As long as your body remembers the movement, you will react naturally when a situation comes up. Let's focus on head and eyes movement during this round. Imagine as if you're riding on a mountain. Try to look at the downhill as much as possible. Keep in mind that you need to know your riding direction. Always start and end the rotation with your eyes and head toward the riding direction. This could improve your required muscle memory and sense of direction when you are on the snow. When we're on a mountain, you never know what position you could be at during the day. Sometimes you're at your normal side, sometimes you are at your switch side. Sometimes you need to do a front side turn, and sometimes you need to do a back side turn. That's the reason why we're iterating all possible combinations of 180 tricks when working out at home. With enough practice at home, when you could muscle memorize all the combinations, your body will automatically react with the 180 border rotation in a trained and safe way when you encounter almost any situation on the mountain. Last round, in preparation of doing 360s in the future, let's try to put a little bit more weight to the board's bending point. Bend it a little bit more and harder by putting a little bit more weight onto the bending point. Feel the pop from the board when finish the 180 rotation. Challenge yourself to bend it a little bit more and hold a little bit longer using your side core muscle. Practice to get enough confidence to put more body weight on the board when the board is bended. That's it. If you want to work out more, feel free to get some water and rewind the video to do another round. If you're interested to know more about indoor snowboard workout, please subscribe to my Home Daddy YouTube channel and browse through more tutorials and workout sessions. If you have any comments about indoor snowboard workout, please leave me a message in the comment section below. Also, if you have come up with any new tricks that are great for indoor snowboard workout, please feel free to leave me a comment as well as sending me the link of your video. Together, we could progress as a community to enjoy the fun and many benefits of snowboarding, not just on the mountain, but also at our home. I'll see you in the next video.